The Arctic wilderness is brutal. Freezing winds, endless snow, and predators lurking in the shadows. Among them, the Arctic wolf is one of the most feared. Miles from civilization, with the temperature at -40 degrees Fahrenheit, and the sun is barely visible. You suddenly hear a chilling howl. What do? Panic? Run? For the Inuit, survival isn't about fear. It's about centuries of wisdom, razor-sharp instincts, and ingenious traps. What clever tactics have helped the Inuit survive wolf attacks in the Arctic? First, let's get to know the Arctic wolf. This isn't your average fairy tale villain. Arctic wolves are the ultimate survivors, perfectly adapted to one of the harshest environments on Earth. With thick fur, powerful jaws, and a pack mentality, they're the Arctic's apex predators. But are they really the bloodthirsty monsters we imagine? Here's the kicker. Wolves aren't mindless killers. They're highly intelligent, social animals with complex behaviors. Most of the time, they'd rather avoid humans than attack them. But when food is scarce, or when they feel threatened, even the most cautious wolf can become dangerous. Arctic wolves live in packs, with a dominant alpha male and female at the top of the hierarchy. They are territorial, marking their territory with urine and scent and defending it from other packs and humans. These packs hunt together, using their pack size and coordinated strategies to take down large prey like caribou and musk oxen. Although Arctic wolves prefer to munch on musk oxen than human meat, that doesn't mean they're afraid of humans. If anything, they can launch a dangerous attack if they feel cornered by humans or an Inuit enters their territory. If you approach an Arctic wolf, don't be surprised by a sudden attack from these ferocious beasts. Arctic wolves are fierce, work in packs, and take no prisoners. If they're hungry enough, they'll even eat each other. So Inuit hope there's enough prey for these wolves, or else they would become the prey instead. So how did the Inuit survive as neighbors to these ferocious wolves? The answer lies in understanding the wolves' behavior and using that knowledge to stay one step ahead. The Inuit have lived alongside wolves for thousands of years. For them, wolves aren't just predators. They're symbols of strength, intelligence, and resilience. Inuit legends often depict wolves as spiritual guides or powerful ancestors. But don't let that folklore fool you. The Inuit also know that wolves are wild animals, and treating them with respect is the key to survival. Some Inuit groups, like the Nunamwit, even respected the hunting skills of wolves, following their strategies for successful hunting. Meanwhile, other groups believed that wolves had a spiritual essence, and so they respected and honored these wolves. The Inuit had different tribes and cultures, with some fearing these Arctic wolves. They thought that any contact with these wolves could lead to illness or death, although they're probably right about the latter. Meanwhile, there were some Inuit tribes that believed the caribou and the wolf were interconnected. In their opinion, the wolves were stopping the caribou from becoming overpopulated. Inuit elders teach their children to respect wolves, not fear them. They pass down stories of close encounters, near misses, and hard-earned lessons. These stories aren't just entertainment. They're survival manuals, packed with wisdom that could mean the difference between life and death. So what are the golden rules of surviving a wolf encounter in the Arctic? Let's break it down. Wolves are the ultimate opportunists. They're not just hunters, they're strategists. They're always on the lookout for the weak, the injured, or the hopelessly lost. So the first rule of surviving a wolf encounter for the Inuit is simple. Don't act like prey. Sounds easy, right? Well, unless you're a caribou with a death wish, It's not as easy as it seems. Arctic wolves avoid humans altogether, except when they feel threatened or are super hungry. And the Inuit know this. If they run, they're basically sending the wolf a text message that says, "Hey, I'm scared, I'm vulnerable, and I'd make a great snack." Instead, stand your ground. Wolves are more likely to back down if they sense you're not an easy target. Think of it like a high-stakes game of poker. If you show fear, you've already folded. Of course, this strategy doesn't work for anyone. Some Inuit cultures, like the Silotquin, believe that making eye contact with a wolf could bring illness. For them, facing a wolf wasn't just a bad idea, it was taboo. So what did they do? They avoid confrontation altogether. Inuit hunters were masters of reading the room, or in this case, the tundra. If they spotted a wolf from a distance, they wouldn't charge in like action heroes. Instead, they'd observe quietly, taking note of the wolf's behavior, size, and any distinctive features. Was it alone? Was it part of a pack? Was it limping? Or looking particularly hangry? These details could mean the difference between a peaceful encounter and a full-blown showdown. Avoiding confrontation was often the smartest move. Wolves are skilled hunters, and provoking one, especially if you're alone or in a vulnerable position, is like challenging a chess grandmaster to a game when you don't even know how the pieces move. Spoiler, you're going to lose. The Arctic might look like a frozen wasteland to the untrained eye, just a vast, white expanse of nothing as far as the horizon stretches. But to the Inuit, it's a survival toolbox, a natural hardware store stocked with everything you need to outsmart a wolf, a blizzard, or even your own bad decisions. Snowdrifts, boulders, ice formations. These aren't just scenic backdrops, they're barriers, escape routes, and even weapons for the Inuit. Wolves are powerful, sure, but they're not exactly parkour champions. Steep slopes, icy ridges, and narrow crevices are used by the Inuit to escape from wolves. Here's the thing. Arctic wolves are built for speed and endurance, not for climbing or squeezing into tight spaces. So when Inuits found themselves face to face with one dangerous and hungry wolf, they looked for a snowdrift, rocky outcrop, or narrow ice tunnel. The Arctic might be harsh, but for the Inuit, it is full of opportunities. Fire is one of humanity's oldest tools, and it's just as effective against wolves as it was thousands of years ago. In the Arctic, where temperatures can plummet to -40 degrees Fahrenheit and wolves roam like furry shadows, fire isn't just a luxury, it's a lifeline. For the Inuit, fire is warmth, light, a cooking tool, a signal for help, and perhaps most importantly, a wolf deterrent. Wolves are naturally wary of fire, and the sight of flames can be enough to send them running. It's like their version of a do not enter sign. Fire disrupts their confidence, their hunting instincts, and the ability to sneak up on Inuit. The Inuit always carried fire-starting tools, even on short trips. Why? Because in the Arctic, conditions can change faster than an Inuit can build an igloo. A small fire isn't just a source of warmth, but a multi-tool for survival. Need to cook a catch? Fire's gotcha. Need to signal for help? Fire's your beacon. Need to keep a pack of wolves at bay? Fire's your bouncer. But starting a fire in the Arctic is not exactly a walk in the park. The Inuit traditionally used a bow drill or fire strap method, which involves creating friction between a drill and a hearthboard to generate embers. But imagine trying to start a fire with 2 sticks while your fingers are numb and a wolf is eyeing you like you're the main course. No pressure, right? Once the fire is lit, the Inuit have to figure out how to stop the wind or snow from snuffing it out. They also use fire to create a perimeter around their campsite, turning their igloos into a no-wolf zone. Let's face it, the Arctic is not a place for lone wolves, unless you're, well, an actual wolf. For the Inuit, traveling in groups isn't just a social activity, it's a survival strategy. Think of it as the original buddy system, except your buddies are also your lifeline in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Wolves are smart. They know that taking a group is a lot riskier than picking off a lone straggler. For the Inuit, traveling in groups is all about safety, sending a message to any would-be predators that says, "We're not on the menu." But let's break it down even further, because the Inuit didn't just travel in groups for the sake of it. Oh no, they had this whole thing down to a science. Traveling in groups from 30 to over 150 people was like having a personal survival squad in the Arctic. In the Arctic, where the cold can kill you faster than a wolf can, having more people around means more eyes to spot danger and fight against the wolves if they ever decide to attack. Hunting in the Arctic isn't a solo sport. Large game like caribou, seals, and whales require teamwork, and dangerous animals like Arctic wolves require strategy and a whole lot of coordination. That's why the Inuit have always hunted in groups. And here's the kicker. Hunting in groups easily deters wolves. A pack of wolves might be bold, but even they think twice before messing with a group of armed, coordinated hunters. It's like the Arctic version of strength in numbers, except the numbers are carrying harpoons. Now here's where things get intense. The Inuit didn't just survive in the Arctic, they thrived. And sometimes thriving meant getting creative. Enter the blood blade trap, a method so clever, so resourceful, and yes, so gruesome. The Inuit would start by sharpening a knife blade to a razor's edge. This blade is sharpened for one purpose, and that's to outsmart the wolf. Once the blade is ready, they'd coat it in fresh animal blood, often from a recent hunt. The blood would then be left to freeze completely, turning the blade into a deadly popsicle. The Inuit knew that wolves are opportunistic scavengers, always on the lookout for an easy meal. Using blood as bait, they were tapping into the wolf's most basic instinct: hunger. The scent of fresh blood is like a dinner bell for a wolf. It's irresistible. The Inuit would place the blood blade trap in an area where wolves were known to roam, ensuring the scent would carry on the wind. To a wolf, this wasn't just a trap. It was a free meal, just waiting to be claimed. But here's the thing. The Inuit weren't just relying on the wolf's hunger, but on its curiosity. Wolves are intelligent animals, but they're also driven by instinct. And when instinct takes over, even the smartest predator can make a fatal mistake. As the wolf licks the frozen blood, the heat from its tongue begins to melt the ice, gradually exposing the sharp edges of the blade. At first, the wolf might not even notice the danger. After all, it's just enjoying a tasty snack. But by the time the wolf realizes what's happening, it's already too late. As the wolf continues to lick, the blade cuts deeper into its tongue, causing severe bleeding. In the harsh Arctic cold, this kind of injury is almost always fatal. The wolf might retreat, but it won't get far. The trap has done its job. It's a brutal method, no doubt about it. But in the Arctic, survival often requires tough choices. This was a last resort, reserved when the Inuit needed wolves for fur or food, or when the wolves posed a serious threat to the community. When it comes to surviving wolf attacks, the Inuit didn't just rely on weapons, traps, or sheer bravery. They also had a secret weapon: their homes. The humble igloo isn't just a cozy snow hut, but a fortress. And when you combine sturdy construction with the right location, Inuit build a wolf-proof haven. Let's get one thing straight. Igloos aren't just piles of snow slapped together. They're feats of engineering, designed to withstand the harshest conditions the Arctic can throw at them. The Inuit build their igloos using tightly packed, condensed snow blocks, arranged in a spiral pattern that distributes weight evenly and creates a dome strong enough to support the weight of an adult. But the real genius of the igloo lies in its insulation. The thick snow walls trap heat inside, creating a warm, cozy environment that's perfect for weathering storms and keeping wolves at bay. After all, why would a wolf waste energy trying to break a snow fortress when there are easier meals to be found? Building a sturdy igloo is only half the battle. The other half? Choosing the right location. The Inuit didn't just plop their homes down anywhere. They selected sites with natural defenses against predators, like cliffs, rocky terrain, or elevated areas that offered a clear view of the surrounding landscape. These strategic locations served multiple purposes. Not only did they provide protection from wolves and other predators, but they also offered shelter from the wind, easy access to hunting grounds, and a vantage point for spotting danger before it got too close. The Inuit didn't actually hunt wolves for sport or as a primary food source, but that doesn't mean that wolves weren't their target. They used wolves in practical and symbolic ways. Wolves were respected, feared, and even needed, used for survival. Wolves have thick, luxurious fur that's perfect for surviving Arctic winters. The Inuit valued wolf fur for its warmth and durability, often used it to trim parkas, hoods, and mittens. Wolf fur isn't just warm, it's also water-resistant, making it ideal for the harsh Arctic climate. Think of it as nature's high-performance winter gear. In some Inuit communities, the hind limbs of wolves are used as a food source for sled dogs. These dogs were essential for transportation and hunting, so keeping them well-fed was a priority. It was a practical solution in an environment where every resource counts. Plus, it's a reminder that, in the Arctic, nothing goes to waste. The Inuit admired wolves for their speed, endurance, and hunting prowess. Wolves are masterful hunters, and the Inuit often observed their strategies to improve their own hunting techniques. It's like learning from the best in the business. After all, who better to teach you about survival in the Arctic than the animals that thrive there? Wolves hold a significant place in Inuit mythology. One of the most famous figures is Amarok, a giant, solitary wolf believed to hunt alone and teach humans the value of strength and independence. These stories aren't just myths, but lessons about resilience and courage. Dogs are very important to the Inuit, and the relationship between wolves and dogs is fascinating. Some Inuit dogs have traces of wolf ancestry, which gives them added strength and endurance. This genetic connection is a reminder of the deep connection between humans, wolves, and dogs, a bond that has shaped survival in the Arctic for thousands of years. The Inuit were not just prey for wolves, as sometimes they were the hunters. When it comes to hunting, the Inuit don't mess around. But hunting wolves isn't exactly a walk in the park. These aren't your average backyard predators. They're fast, smart, and have a serious attitude problem. But the Inuit? They've got a few tricks up their sleeves. First things first, you can't hunt wolves with your bare hands. The Inuit rely on a carefully curated arsenal of tools and weapons, each designed for a specific purpose. Harpoons and knives are used for defending themselves in close combat and keeping wolves at bay. And let's not forget the dog teams, the unsung heroes of Arctic hunting. These furry companions aren't just for transportation, they're also expert trackers and defenders, ready to bark, bite, or brawl if a wolf gets too close. The Inuit are masters of adaptation. Whether they're hunting on the ice or the tundra, their strategies are tailored to the terrain and the target. Marine hunting, think seals, walruses, and the occasional beluga, requires patience, precision, and a deep understanding of animal behavior. But land hunting? That's where things get intense. Wolves, musk oxen, and even polar bears are all on the menu. And each requires a unique approach. Hunting isn't a solo sport in the Arctic, it's a team effort. The Inuit hunt in groups, combining their skills, knowledge, and resources to increase their chances of success. Spotting, tracking, and taking down a wolf requires coordination, communication, and a whole lot of trust. It's like a high-stakes game of tag, except the stakes are life and death. And it has sharp teeth and a bad temper. There's no doubt that surviving a wolf attack is no small feat. Even if you manage to fend off the predator, you're likely to walk away with some battle scars. Literally. But for the Inuit, having wounds comes with some solution, and that's seal oil. Yes, you heard that right. This golden, nutrient-rich liquid wasn't just used for cooking, but as a natural remedy that was saving lives for thousands of years. When applied to wounds, it helps prevent infection, reduces inflammation, and promotes healing. It's the Arctic's answer to many injuries. Whether you're dealing with a wolf bite, a frostbitten toe, or just a nasty cut, seal oil has you covered. And the best part? It's 100% natural, sustainably sourced, and doesn't come with side effects. It's not just effective, but also incredibly versatile. After a wolf attack, the injured hunter would be brought back to camp, where the elder would clean the wound, apply seal oil, and bandage it with the available materials, like caribou hide or strips of seal skin. So could you survive a wolf attack in the Arctic? Drop a paw print in the comments if you'd like to give it a shot, or let us know if you'd rather stick to safer adventures. And if you're curious about more wild survival hacks from the Inuit, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the Arctic, knowledge is your greatest weapon.